All right, you're listening to KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. We don't only bring you videos on Facebook and YouTube, but listen to our audio only, where you'll get shows like Cheryl Underwood and Blues Time in the City. You can pick us up at www.kuaw.org or go to the TuneIn app and
That's me. Can't, can't. Welcome to Girl Talk. I'm your host, Miss E, and I'm joined with my co-host, the Outrage Thurman.
How y'all doing today?
We doing fine. So, but today is going to be a call-in show, so you can call in and we'll talk what's on your mind, like Facebook says, what's on your mind. Uh, we got a lot of things that we want to talk about. We have to 160 murders. 160 murders. Outrage, start with you.
160 murders. You got 222 murders in St. Louis. Kansas City. Saturday there was a murder. There was a murder that happened right at the Peachtree restaurant on Eastwood Traffic Way. I'm like, a guy got shot and killed in his own vehicle in the parking lot of Peachtree on Eastwood Traffic Way. The other one that was in the car is fighting for his life. So I'm like, there's nowhere else to go now. I'm like, you know, 160 murders in what, we got 1 month left, a month and a half left before the year is over.
Horrible. Horrible. And what makes it even more worse, Derm, I think this is, are you sitting on this? What makes it even worse is the city council just gave 80,000 more dollars to Aim for Peace to fight crime. And I haven't heard about them showing up at any of these or prevention on top of the $3.4 million that they received for funding. And to me, that's just ridiculous. I mean, we have the Casey. We under the mask order, right? Where we all have to wear masks in public.
Hmm.
The police department has over 130 officers that's out with the coronavirus, and they're not wearing masks. And most of their activities have been in our community. We should be outraged. And yesterday, I was watching the police board, the
The
board
Board
of,
of Commissioners.
yeah, board of police and commission, and right in front of the mayor's face, the officers refused to put on their mask. So if he can't uh, govern over the police department and have the police department to wear those masks and then right in front of his face, how is he going to close down the city again? How's that going to happen? I mean, if I was a business owner, I would be upset because most of the businesses are being lost due to the mask requirements and the size population that's going on. But yet, still, you can't tell your own officers to wear masks.
Yeah, you have business owners, like in some restaurants. I'm like, they are dealing with a new balance of, of who the people that they can have in a restaurant. They have a certain limit of people they can have in a restaurant. Uh, I think basically the buffet style restaurants are basically gone out of business.
I wouldn't be eating at no buffet. You know, people come in with their coats on, hats on, gloves on, going across the buffet. I wouldn't be eating at no buffet. But most importantly, the reason why I don't eat at a lot of restaurants that don't let you in is is because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. This is no nonsense. Okay. Hello. You're gonna have to turn down your hello. Turn down your radio. Turn down your radio.
Good evening, Mrs.
It's
E.
Miss E.
I just wanted to tell you that I am so
Hello.
Hold on. I'm trying. Hold on. Take your little time. I'm free after all. Hold
Uh
on.
oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. Then take your time.
Okay. Yeah. You still hear the echo?
No, we can't hear it now.
Hello?
No, we don't hear the echo now.
I just wanted to tell you I am so amazed at you. You make it look good. The way you always at battle for everybody. And you're still looking good, girl.
Thank you. I'm
Keep it
trying.
going.
I'm trying. It's in the water.
I know that's right.
It's in the
But
water.
I'm real concerned with all this going on. But I feel like it is. They call us conspiracy theorists, but I believe that the people in the city have something to do with it. If hello,
We listening.
I don't know why my volume's gone down.
Don't worry about it. We can hear
Anyway,
you really
I
good.
feel like. Do you remember the organization that they started called KC Nova?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And they started that about 2013, if I'm not correct, maybe 2012. And if you will look back at when the crime started going up, I mean, besides when crack came, it's no competition with the way the crime is now. Even when crack first came to Kansas City, but now we have all this high crime. You hear all these police sirens all over the place, but it's almost like the more police sirens you hear, the higher the crime goes, and nobody's solving it.
Maybe they don't want to
So,
solve it.
huh?
Maybe they don't want to solve it.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that the Nova thing was so that the police and the prosecutors could get together with the criminals and know where they are. I believe that they have something to do with the crime. That's what I believe.
Well,
I don't know.
it's a known fact that money crime is big money, and with all the cameras on every block, if they wanted to serve, if they wanted to find the criminals, it's not hard. They can get on Facebook and find anything. But I do believe my one of my biggest concerns is that we give it allocated money to these organizations that are not doing anything, and they have no proving method that they've done anything, and they're receiving major, major, major dollars, $3.4 million on top of $80,000 for an organization that has not been audited, an organization that their own people said that they had fraudulently collected numbers, fraudulently collected people's names to say that they attended, these cases, and they don't have any proof. And you have people that boots are on the ground that are doing it for nothing and receiving no kind of accolades for it. So I blame a lot of that on our mayor and our council, because a lot of them are in bed with each other and they have their hands in the cookie jar taking the money. But I blame us as citizens for not demanding more. Anybody? I guess they gonna be let me be the only one to get in trouble. But that's where I stand on that. And I think it has to behoove all of us to get involved. All of us have to get involved. All of us have to get out of our comfort zones and do something.
Yeah, we see you always.
Well, I want to see you there with me.
Wonderful. I mean, I want to do what I girl. That's wonderful though.
Yeah, so it's an open invitation. Anytime you want to get together, I'm available.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
And that's even to
Well,
walk
thank
around.
you.
That's even to walk around the block.
I am going to come with you.
Okay. Okay.
I'm getting old.
No, age is only a figment of
Girl,
your
I need to
imagination.
get out there. I know it. I
Yeah,
know it.
you got to get out of that. It's only a
Thank you.
figment of your imagination.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good evening.
All righty. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome. I wanted to say something about that age. When she's mentioned conspiracy theory, well, I know when I was a little girl, I was always concerned about people's weight and people's age, right? So my father used to ask me, he used to say, how old would you be if you didn't know how old you are? I mean, really, how old would you be if you didn't know how old you are? And reality is, you don't know how old you are. because man started counting. But what was taking place before man started to measure counting and putting it in calendars? And they can change it. They showed us that by daylight savings time. So we can adjust time anytime we want to. And we can adjust our ages. You know, we really don't know how we are. But we get caught up in man's made philosophy of saying, you know, you're this age, you're going to start feeling this way. And we start looking and feeling the way in which we believe we are. So if you think young, with the wisdom that you have, you're ageless. You know what I'm saying? Really, you're ageless. But when you say, hey, I'm 70 years old, I'm going to start acting like a person would act at 70, then you limit yourself. That's my philosophy on life. You know, you have to keep your body active, you know, your mind active, you know, and then you stop your aging process by what you eat and what you do. I believe that. You know, I mean, some days you get up and you feel like, you know, your body don't feel the same way it did at 20, but you have to talk to your body and tell your body, get it together. You know, that's what I tell myself when I get up in the morning. Hey, we're not having that today. You know, I mean, people laugh, but you have to talk to your body because you are in charge of this body. You know what I'm saying? You are in charge of this body. So if your right hand don't know what your left hand is doing, then you have to bring them together so they can work together. And that's my philosophy on life. I am fighting age all the way. I'm not going to say I want to age gracefully. You know, I want to live the best life that I can possibly live, regardless of what people think time frame I should be in. Some things that, you know, you grow older with and you mature a little bit. You know, your things change, but you don't have to drastically change and adjust to that. I see people, I'm inspired by women 80 years old that are still exercising. Then you have women 20 years old that can't even do a little bit of that exercise because they limit themselves. Huh? Yeah, that's why you see a lot of people now, as they get older, they look better. You know, and you say, whoa, you done came a long ways, you know, but you still have those same years that the other person has. Is what you choose to do with your life. I live a stress-free life, and people don't understand that because I'm very active, very busy, but I live a stress-free life. I don't let things around me consume me. People that get on my nerves, I get rid of them. You know, I don't try to fit in to get in, you know, and that's been my philosophy. I don't like to argue with people. I like to laugh and joke, but people always see me on a different way because that's the way they want to interpret me. But if I went into the way that they interpret me, then I would see myself differently. You know, people say, oh, you're hard to get along with. That's because you don't want to get along. Right? You know, when I was in school, the teacher would say, well, Roach, you talk too much. Well, that's because you're not talking enough. It's always a yang to the yang, you know what I'm saying? You know, but you have to start taking hold of your own life, your own responsibility for your own happiness. I truly believe that. I truly believe that you have to find within that 24 hours of a day a space for you, a space where only where you and your God is. And that's what I try to do. I try to take those moments out of my day and find that connection with my spirit. And it seems to work because she said, that's yang, yang, yin and yang. That's true. You know, and opposites don't attract. I don't know where people got that from. Opposites don't attract, and keeping your enemies underneath your wing is not going to work for me. May work for Thurman, but it doesn't work for me. So if it doesn't work for me, I don't knock what works for him. I just don't want a part of that. Make sense? Always makes sense. You know, if it don't, we're going to make dollars. If we can't make no sense. But, you know, getting back, you know, and I wanted to, yeah, all the shootings and stuff that's going on is really, really scary when you think about it, because coming down here and you go home and you found where you just left that somebody got shot or died, you know what I'm saying, or killed. But I truly believe that we're living in wicked times as always, but only that we're more knowledgeable of the actions that's taking place. You know, nothing's new. We just see it more, and then we become adjusted to it. You know, we don't feel that anymore. It used to be when you hear a siren, you go outside to see where it's coming from. You don't even move anymore because you got conditioned to hearing it. You know, conditioned to seeing people living violent lifestyles. It used to be one part of town. Now it's everywhere. and it's not going to change until the people change. You can throw all the prayers up, but them prayers don't have no wings on them. They're not going nowhere. They don't have no feet to them wings. They're not going anywhere. Common sense tell you we cannot police ourselves out of this. We cannot police ourselves out of it. You have an economic situation that we're on life support. We have no major businesses in our community. Those things produce poverty. Poverty produces violence. You don't see rich people committing these type of crimes because their lifestyle doesn't have to do that. We're in survival mode, most of us now, and that's a horrible way to live your life. To live your life in a survivor mode, and I think that I speak out a lot about it because I'm not going to accept it. I'm not going to accept it for me to say I'm just going to go along with it because it's nothing that I can do. As long as I can speak, I'm going to speak out on it. That's why I speak out 24/7 about domestic violence. And, people, they don't want to hear it because they're perpetrators of it, from the women to the men. And now we pass that violent behavior down to our children. There's a lot of violent children out here because they come from violent homes. And that doesn't mean that they have to get beaten to be violent. Cursing is the worst thing that you can do with your child. When you break down that self-esteem, you done broke that child. It's like riding a horse. You got to break that buck in order to get on his back. I guess I'm boring you.
No, I'm like, yeah, you basically telling the truth. I'm like, like just like the other day, there was a shooting at the McDonald's out in Blue Springs. I'm like, they're popping up, and I'm like, I'm like, I think I get more. My phone goes into alert mode almost every 5 minutes because either I'm getting a text from someone at a murder scene, or B, I'm getting a notification from Ring telling me there's shots fired in a certain area of town, and it's alerting from the different parts of Kansas City.
And what makes it so crazy is 24/7. It used to be where it would be at nighttime or maybe on the weekends when you got paid and you got a little drunk or something. Now, man, you on your way going to work, coming home from work. I mean, it is crazy out here. And what's even worse is that we're keeping these people that know that's doing these crimes in our homes. We're keeping them safe. We're not turning them in. And I do believe the police know 99.9% of the people that commit these crimes. I do believe that. I don't believe that it goes unannounced because they know everything else. If they got time to follow somebody from a board meeting because they called them out and told them they had a bad haircut and raggedy clothes, and they can follow them for 2 or 3 days, they should be out there fighting crime. Mm-hmm. And defunding them is not taken away from them. But I do believe that extra money should be put back in the community for community policing. I think it should go to the people that once we know our community again, then we can police and we can build our communities. Because right now, we don't have anything in our community to say that we really have. When you go around and you look for art museums, we know as Black people, we like entertainment. At least the world thinks that's how we thrive on, this entertainment. We have no entertainment in our cities. We have no place for kids or people that can develop skills, such as skating, golfing, basketball, volleyball. We're taking all the things that take away the stress. When I was in college, I played a lot of ball. I say ball. People say, did you play basketball? No, I call that anything with a ball I played, but basketball. But in the morning, we would go in and we would throw that ball to relieve stress, to relieve the stress that you had, and you'd be surprised how much stress that you have just by waking up.
Yeah, while I'm sitting here, my phone is vibrating and it's telling me right now I'm getting an alert from Ring. I don't know what exactly is going on, but I'm getting my alert is telling me that anyone between in the area of 37th and Truce, the police have the area blocked off. I don't know what exactly is going on right now, but I'm getting the alert is coming on right now.
You know, and if people think it's bad now, just wait until January, when 45 leaves that office. Just wait. But have you noticed all the angry white folks have disappeared? Have you noticed that they're not out there doing all that demonstration and stuff that they were? Well, yeah, they were, or in some places. But
okay, just to inform everybody, a dead body was found. That's what the notification is telling me now.
At 37th and Truce.
37th and Truce. Truce between Armour and Truce down on 37th Street.
Oh my goodness.
So,
yeah. That's not good. As we're talking about violence, there's some more violence taking place. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Miss E, I was just going to say, though, I was driving here and heard that they arrested a young man on the highway, on the interstate, that said he was on his way here to assassinate Claire McCaskill. They stopped him in Utah going 130 miles an hour in the snow, made him pull him over, and that's what the police were reporting.
Man, he needs to get up on his politics if she's no longer in office. See, that's ridiculous. I mean, people want to do something. She's been out of office, what, 2 years? That is crazy. Maybe he got her mixed up with Harris.
But I just heard that on NPR, and I thought, why would you go after Claire McCaskill? She doesn't have any position now.
She doesn't have anything, no position. That's crazy. And I mean, the election showed you how crazy we were. Instead of just focusing on the president, we let everybody else walk on in office. You know, we didn't think about the Congress. You know, I just get so upset when I see people taking that freedom ballot. I just get so pissed off because this is why we have bad politicians now. It's because they handpick these people to go in, and then they'll put a big news thing out and say, but this person went to Jefferson City and they became the director or the chairperson of this, which doesn't mean anything. When you ask people now, who is your state representative? And I ask this every week, nobody can tell me. You know, nobody can tell me who their state representative is. I get they can't. I ask them, who's your city council person? Brandon. Brandon is not the only person sitting on city council. You know, start worrying them other people, making them work, but they bring everything to him, and then their support is not even there. That's why I couldn't be an elected official. You know, it's because I would make people get out and work. You know, if you want to see me, then you have to come be with me. You know, but we want people to do everything for us. Like this lady sent me a message, wanted to talk about, you know, domestic violence against this other person, but she wanted me to talk to this person, but she didn't want her name involved in it. So what do I look like going on a third party to talk to somebody about accusations that you made, and you're not even supposed to be romantically involved with this individual? You know, I mean, this is the kind of things that I get people coming back to me, and then because I am a straightforward yes or no person, they don't like what I respond to, you know, and I have certain rules that I abide by, adhere to in my life, and it's the one strike you out. I don't give 3 strikes, 1 strike you out, you know, and we don't have time to carry dead weight. You know, let the dead be with the dead and the living be with the living, you know, but if people want something, they have to get up and do something about it. If you're sick and tired of your life being sick and tired, then you need to do something to untire your life, to stop being sick and tired. I mean, for real, we can sit about and we can complain. We can complain and complain and complain, and it's doing no good. Just like the word depression. People want to drop that in your spirit all the time. I am depressed. Depressed means something's on you and it's pressing. You know, we done made a living out of being depressed. When you keep speaking those things over your life, that becomes your life. You never hear me say I'm depressed, because I am in this thing called life, and I'm going through it. It is nothing pressing me to be anything. You know, and we have to start doing that. And when you have people around you in your circle, You are the makeup of everything that is around you. The people that you surround yourself with, that is your personality. If you got, I heard Denzel Washington say this, if you got 5 people around you that's successful, you the sixth person that's successful. If you got 5 people around you that's going down, you the sixth person that's going down. So you have to start thinking you are what you surround yourself with. And you have to have something in this life worth living for. And I stay on the mothers all the time because I've never been a father. So I can't really speak for men, but I can speak for me as a woman. We rock. We rule this earth. We make things happen. And when the black woman is attacked, the world is attacked. And we have to want to save our own children enough to make this world better. That means we have to make better choices in what we are doing. From education on down, we have to make better choices. I had no greater pleasure and no greater sorrow than being a mother. It's not like it's been all, cake and ice cream. But the greatest thing that I have been able to do is see what I was gifted to produce and watch it produce and watch how it reproduces. So I take time to be a mother. Nothing in this world is more important than my family. And I think a lot of people should start thinking that relationships are important to me. How my grandchildren view me is very important to me. And how my son views me is very important to me. And a lot of people say, well, when they get a certain age, it don't matter. But to me, it does matter. I mean, what do y'all think?
Yeah, their opinion on you. Is that what you?
No, I don't really care about their opinion. I said how they view you, because everybody has this right to their opinion, but you're not going to see me doing certain things because of my grandchildren. I don't want them to be not embarrassed, but ashamed of some of the things that you may do that's belittling you, and you're trying to raise them to be higher.
Yeah, you want to live your life so that your kids will look up to you, but you're not trying to win their approval. But you want to live your life in a way that not just only your kids, but anybody would say, well, she's a lady of her word. He's a man of his word.
And you know what? I meet so very little people that value their word. And that really irritates me, because I came from an era where your word was your life. Your word was your bond, and your bond was your life. I came from a yes and no family. I didn't have no compromise. I'm not a person that negotiates. And sometimes that is bad because I don't negotiate. And I watch people that would tell me yes when you can simply tell me no. Because when you don't do what you tell me that you're going to do, I disconnect myself from you. And a lot of times that may be bad for me, but I back away from people that don't do what they say they're going to do. And I guess that's why I'm single in a lot of ways, because of some of the things that you stand for and some of the things that you don't. I'm not asking anybody to do any more for me than I will be willing to do for them. And first of all, most of that is just being honest and truthful, because the things that you can't do, you're already doing, providing for yourself. So I don't need nobody to come in to provide for me. I need somebody to come in and build it more, join in. But I don't need nobody to pay my rent, my telephone bills, or my cell phone, or buy me a car. If those things, if I wanted them, I can get them myself. But I don't need nobody to come in and all 5 minutes I'm on Facebook trying to find out where he's at. That's why my goal is to become famous. I'm sort of famous now, but I'm going to become real famous. Because when you get real famous, you don't have to go look for your mate. You know what I'm saying? Because your mate will show up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, reality shows.
Be careful.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm going to become famous because that's money I could save.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So people say, I want to be famous. Well, why do you want to be famous? Well, if you want to know where your man is, become famous. And then you'll know where your man is, What do you think, Thurman? It's crazy.
I'm not even getting into that. Between these crazy people in these reality shows, I've been looking at between I'm in love for Mama's Boy to Love and Lockup to to
Let's
the Bachelorette.
let's talk about some of that, because you know we going into the breakup season. Unless we go on lockdown, then we might make up, and
No,
you know
we going into culling season. Basically, I'm
people
looking
can't
for a woman to shack up with.
people can't cuddle no more, because if you go out in public, you got to come back in proving that you don't have the COVID-19. So you just can't be cuddling no more. You know, romance is out the door. With the words and songs that they playing now, you want to fight when you get together. You ain't trying to make love. You just trying to fight. But let's talk about some of them shows real quick. I'm in love with a mama's boy. We're gonna do a review on that. What do you think about that, Thurman?
I'm like,
He did.
are you really in love with a Mama's Boy? Because I done heard from some of the women on. I got a lot of women on Facebook that are friends with, and they have issues with Mama's Boys.
Well, you let me tell you something. I love a mama's boy. I'm talking about a grown man that loves his mama. I'm not talking about what they showing on TV. On TV, his borders on, that's your girlfriend. But I do love a man that loves his mama. That's me. I'm not the type of woman that's jealous of another woman, his mother. A lot of women are jealous of the relationship that men have with their mothers. And sometimes mother-in-laws can be, they can hit. You know what I'm saying? They don't mash. But that's because that man hasn't made an adjustment. Sometimes he wants you to class so he can keep doing what he's doing over there and don't have to worry about you coming back finding out. Because you can't go to Christmas dinners or Thanksgiving dinners, because you don't like his mama. So get to like his mama so you can come around and find out what's really going on. Because when the mama likes you, she will let you know what's going on. But when she don't like you, everybody got a daughter is going to meet her son, right? So let's talk about Ready to Love. Ready to Love. Thurman. Ready to Love is nephew Tommy's show that he does with singles that come together and they ready to find love. They ready to find love. I think it's just I personally kind of liked it, but I don't really like it no more because it's just outrageous. I mean, you got what, 2 weeks or a month or something to find love, and then you decide if you want to be together, and the people that have been together are no longer together. They leave off the show together, but then they break up. So it's just a good hook. It's just a hookup without feeling guilty. You know what I'm saying? But now they got them acting so. Well, they got them doing all kind of things now. People do all kind of things to just stay on TV. One of my favorite shows is The Has and Has Not. I don't know what Tyra Perry is on this week, this time around, because the show is not that good. But I do love me some Veronica. That is a wicked thinking woman. Natalie, what's going on? So, reason why I said that we talk about these reality shows is because we try to mimic these reality shows. When we seen the Housewives of Atlanta fighting and doing all that stuff, then we started doing the same thing. Now everybody's talking about polygamy. Polygamy, is that right? Polygamy? That's when you have 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Now they're talking about polygamy. And I want to ask this question because I know my answer. Could you become a polygamist, Thurman? For those that know, that means that you have 2 mates.
Yeah, basically
3 out together.
Basically, yeah, because I've been looking at the different posts about polygamy, and I seen one woman, she was bragging that she's got 2 men, she's got kids with both men, and I'm like, I guess polygamy is big. I'm like, I guess swingers parties, polygamy, I guess is all on the table.
But wait a minute, Thurman. Not all polygamists are swingers now. Not all of them are swingers. Some of them just get together for financial reasons or to hide, who they really are. So my question is to the audience. Natalie, Could you be a polygamist? I don't think Natalie could because Natalie's a Scorpion, and Scorpions usually don't adhere to that, even though people may say that. Um, I couldn't be a polygamist, but Thurman said he could because he does likes to swing, he likes the girls, and he likes the money factor of being saved. Right, Thurman?
Yeah.
See, you got it right here.
I can't deal with the you know this one's fighting today, this one's gonna fight tomorrow.
So you just gonna bring them all together. That way, you just save your time, huh?
Yeah.
So you bring them all together, you won't have no trouble. I think it just means that everybody knows what everybody's doing. You know, everybody knows what everybody's doing. Now we're gonna swing around and we're gonna talk about a hot topic, and what the hot topic is, Thurman. If you stop looking down Facebook, what is the hot topic?
What's the hot topic?
I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to get in trouble.
What is the hot topic? I'm like, what we talking about? Cuffling season? What we talking about?
Couple of things. I don't know. Let's get back to the social. What is your opinion on well, I don't even know, are they still protesting or are they through protesting?
Well, I know that there's one group that protests every Friday, so they will be out there this Friday in front of the police station down there.
Yeah. But I think that group is committed to police reform and bringing attention to the brutality of it. I don't see a lot of shenanigans going on with that. I do see they're out there with a cause to get their message across. When I talk about shenanigans, I'm talking about all the things that go along with the rest of the stuff. With people not being informed of what they're protesting about. And they're just out there. That to me, this is why I don't join protesters. It's because I think you have to have a mission, a vision, and you have to be, in reality, you have to work within the system to change the system. That's my opinion. Okay, Mayor Quentin Lucas, will he get a second term?
I do not know. I do not know. I'm sitting here trying to pull up something. I saw an article today that the Kansas City Park and Rec signed
Oh my
off
God, for $75 million?
on a $75 million aquarium
Yeah,
for the Kansas City Zoo.
yeah.
What is going on here? I'm like, we already got an aquarium down at Crown Center with sea life. You want to put $75 million of taxpayer money into it?
Is that coming out of taxpayer money or is it coming out of the gifters that they have for the Friends of the Zoo? Because, they made up a separate thing and they have Friends of the Zoo, a bunch of rich people that put their money together to support animals that don't come out. Because when you go to the zoo, you don't see the animals anymore because the animal right people got rid of the animals.
Yeah.
So I guess that they're going to be safe to say that they just going to have fish at the zoo.
Yeah, the animal rights people, they really mad. They really mad. They really mad. But you still got the Tiger King running around here.
Who's that? Who's that?
The Tiger King is a reality show that if you know the wife has been accused of her husband's missing, and they don't know where he is.
He's in the tiger's mouth, stomach. That's where he is. He's in the tiger's stomach. Anytime. That's why I don't mess with crazy people. Because when you get somebody that's crazy, if I come up your house and all you watching is Criminal Minds, I don't fool with you because I know you on something that's really, really, thick. But another thing we're going to talk about, is or homeschooling? How's it going for you guys? That's homeschooling. Is your children learning anything? I see more kids out playing. I see more kids out playing during the day. I don't know if they're in school or not, but I see more children out. And will we get a rebate on our taxes paid for education?
I don't know how many parents are basically now became alcoholics because the kids are.
But wait a minute, let me start this up. Did you know that you can get paid a teacher's salary for teaching your children? Carmen, contact the Board of Education and tell them that you want your paycheck. You know, if you're looking for your stimulus check, contact the Board of Education and tell them that you want your check for homeschooling your child. You can get paid.
Since we talking about board, how many volunteers of the Board of Elections are in quarantine right now?
28 election officials, and they're not telling you where they were, came down with the coronavirus. So how many, we can do some math on this. How many wards, places were sites for the coronavirus? I mean, for voting. You know, you can break them down. And they're not calling you up. You're not getting no phone call. I'm telling you that where you
the
voted.
health department is still going to call you and tell you that something that you may need to come in here and get tested because someone has tested positive for the virus. You're not going to get a contact call.
They're not going to call you. They're not going to call you to tell you that. And everyone that came down with it, they claim had masks on. So does the mask keep you safe, or do the masks protect you? You know, I don't see how, because the masks are, as you can see, laid on the desk, in my chair, in my car, you know, on the steering thing. Ain't nothing sterile about that.
But there was an employee in St. Louis that died from the coronavirus. She worked election day. She died the next day, and
well, she had to have more than the virus to die the next day, because it don't come and kill you just like that. You know, everything that they're labeling is coronavirus. You know, I mean, you have a heart attack, oh, she had coronavirus. You know, if you have a kidney stone, oh, they had coronavirus. You know, they're marking up some of these numbers, you know. You know, everybody's not dying. You just don't catch it. And how do you know? I went to a swimming party, and that's where I caught it at.
Because the health department's supposed to do a contact.
They don't know where it came from. They just know that you went somewhere and then you said you were sick, but you could have got it 13 days ago.
Yeah. But they supposed to be doing contact tracing, so they supposed to basically make you follow your steps back.
Yeah, people ain't gonna tell them where they really went. You know, I ain't gonna tell you I was laying up with Joe when I'm with Sam. You know, but what about they came out now? One of the senators, congressmen, wants to put out, or maybe a senator wants to put it mandatory that you have to take the virus shot, the vaccine for the coronavirus. They're going to make it mandatory, and I mean, so I think that's when they're going to chip everybody and put something in you. You know, then we be walking dead. But they want to make it mandatory. And people say, oh, they can't do that. Well, when I was a little girl, they used to pick you up in buses and take you to get the polio shot. You know, and so they can do a lot of things, because remember, people, we gave up our constitutional rights when Obama was in office, and the Constitution, I don't know if it's still suspended, but it has been suspended. So don't quote me on that, because it could be still in effect. And I want to give word. Remember last week when I said, be very careful when you're out there protesting and how they're labeling you a terrorist? Remember I said that, and they said, oh, we can go to jail or we can get out. They have a Missouri woman that they labeled as a terrorist, and now she's getting ready to do federal time, big time, because they labeled her as a terrorist. So be very careful when you go out there and you decide to use certain trigger words that can get you locked up forever. So, you know, do your homework before you're out there.
Well, yeah, because they're not going to make it mandatory, because right now you got people around here that have gotten got waivers for shots that we need right now for chickenpox and
They're not
other.
giving no exceptions. They said no exceptions will be made for the coronavirus. They said religion would not be accepted. There will be no excuses made. That's what's written up. That's what's scary when you think somebody's going to come in, hold you down, and shoot you up with something that they haven't even tested or don't even know what it is, but yet still they got a cure for it. How are you going to cure something you don't even know what it is? And I heard one of the craziest thing that the coronavirus is airborne, right? People said no, it's not airborne. If it wasn't airborne, brains, you wouldn't be wearing a mask so you wouldn't inhale it. You wouldn't be wearing a mask so you wouldn't let it out. But really, that's causing a lot of other things that's happening. You know, it's the first time in the history of America that black men and women can go into a store and not be accused of being a bank robber, a robber, or anything because now they want them to wear that mask. And I've seen some people that I've known for a very, very long time, and they come out with the mask on, and they walk up to me and they say, "You don't know who I am?" I really didn't know who you was before you put the mask on, but I really don't know who you were when you took the mask off. You know, I mean, really, I mean, have you seen people that you don't recognize?
No,
That you can't tell who they are. You know, I mean, I can't tell who they are. You know, when the mask is all the way up to here, you know, I can't tell.
and it make you really bad, especially wintertime when people got these ski masks on and everything.
I wish you see his face. He got what on, Thurman? Do this.
They gonna have these ski masks on and everything. I'm like, you thinking they got their Halloween mask on now because.
But you know what? Before we go, I want to have a serious, funny talk. Do you go or do you stay? Do you go or do you stay? You in a situation, a relationship. The relationship is not really bringing you a lot of what you would like to have. It's not really physical, but it's more of a mental strain. You know that you've been with this person for a number of years. Do you go or do you stay? You can call in at 816-599-6893. Do you go or do you stay? You in a relationship, and the relationship is very violent, but you don't want nobody to know that you're going through this. Do you go or do you stay? You belong to a church, and the church is something that this church is a church that you was raised up in this church, but you know your pastor is molesting children, but you believe that that's something that God will take care of. Do you go or do you stay? You come home and you find out that the person that you thought you was in love with is in love with someone else, and that someone else happens to be your brother. Do you go or do you stay? You think that you're building a life with someone and they're both going to work, but you find out that this person has been fired for about 5 months, 4 months. Do you go or do you stay? You're with someone, and that someone tells you that they don't like nothing about you. They don't like the way you look. They don't like the way you walk. They don't like the way you talk. You got this going against you. You ain't got nothing that they find attractive, or they're not even having sexual relationship with you. Do you go or do you stay?
Like, what kind of relationship is this of mine? Because one, you basically done lied, you done basically concealed information. I'm like,
But
so basically, there's basically no honesty in this relationship. And
but is honesty what you're seeking? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people stay in those type of situations. You know, it's not something that you would be amazed how many people actually stay in degrading situations. Okay, do you go or do you stay? Why do you stay with someone? What would be the trigger for you to leave? What would be the trigger that makes you want to stay? in a relationship? What would be the one thing that you could not tolerate that you would have to say, I'm gone? I mean, we all have those points that we have that we go, if you have to think about, do I go or do I stay? You've already gone. Because most breakups happen before the final goodbye. Most of them have the way of coming. But when we break up, most of us will break up in an unfriendly terms. We're not on good terms. I mean, I don't know too many breakups that happen when somebody says, well, baby, I'm just out of here. Okay, you have a good life too. I don't know too many relationships like that. I know when one party leaves, another party is hurting, maybe more than the other party. But what would be your deal breaker? What would make you go or what would make you stay?
So basically, you asked, what would be the last straw for you to finally say enough is enough? I'm ready to come out of this relationship.
I'm ready to physically walk out of this relationship. What would be that part that makes you go,
enough is enough?
Enough is enough. Because we all have that point, and when I say all, I'm just generalizing it, in a relationship that we feel when it's not good, it's not good. I mean, when it's good, but when it's not good, it's not good. It's not good for you mentally, physically, spiritually, any type of way. But yet and still, we may stay. Because there's no violence hitting upon us. There's none of those things happening, but inch by inch, our self-esteem is broken down. So do you go or do you stay? I mean, we'll have a lot of people telling us, oh, I would never tolerate that. But then they go home to something much, much worse. So do you go or do you stay?
Yeah. What is the basically the last straw? What is your breaking point to come out of this relationship? I'm like, what did the person have to go upside your head? Did the person have to basically cheat on you?
But how can are you hot up in here? Cold up in here? Lord, all of a sudden I felt fire go up my back. What I'm thinking is because we're going into the season where the nights are longer than the days.
Mm-hmm.
Arguments happen. True people are showing their feelings. I mean, the economy is one thing to blame it on. The COVID is another thing. But we have more incidents where people are being destroyed internally. Internally they broke down. Do you go or do you stay? Is it healthy for you? I, for one, do not believe that you can be single and have to do the same things that a married person would do. I think that, this is where we get caught up at, is because we try to give this person what we would give our husband or our wife. And it's just a relationship. It's nothing that's guaranteed. Even a marriage is not guaranteed, but you have no commitments there. So what I'm trying to say is I do not believe single women should be doing wifely things, okay? I don't believe that we should be putting it all into this man and we're getting nothing out of it. Maybe you should have contract relationships, instead of just having a relationship. Because when I hear a grown woman say, that's my boyfriend, I look at him and say, that's where he is. He's a boy and he's a friend. I think single people should be single. They should date singly. If you want to be monogamous, then get into a relationship that is serious, a monogamous. Because you can't cheat on somebody you're not with.
Especially now that you got so many people that they not in relationships. They just
situations.
They see friends with benefits.
And sometimes those benefits are cut and you don't know. It's the same thing. I mean, really, sometimes those benefits will be cut. It's the same thing when they said, oh, I got my calling. God called me. God called me to do this. I know this is my purpose. God called me to do this. And I'm going to do it because God told me to do it. Even if it ain't going right, God told me to do it. And I go, yeah. But sometimes God picks up that phone and says, I got the wrong number. But you didn't give God a chance to tell you that it was the wrong number. You just went with it. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's meant to go, it's going to flow. You never have to work out God's plan. It's already worked out. You just walk into that purpose of what you're supposed to be doing. So I want to know, do you go or do you stay? That's my biggest question I'm asking everybody. And I mean, that's toxic relationships. And I'm not talking about just with intimate party. That could be with your parents. We have a lot of toxic relationships. Black women have it with their mothers. A lot of toxic relationships that go on. Black men have it with their fathers or the lack of the father figure. And we carry that baggage because we don't allow people to know that we're really hurt. So you can't heal what you don't acknowledge. You have to acknowledge that you're missing this out of your life and you're hurt by it so you can move on. You know, when people hurt you, it's not okay. It's not okay to say, I forgive them and I live a miserable life. You know, you cannot tell a child that's been molested at 2 or 3 and that same child remembers it at 10 and 20. Something had happened that triggered that life to stop right there. You know, people just don't act crazy just to be acting crazy. You know, I mean, do y'all agree or don't agree? Triggers happen, you know, a lot. So do you go or do you stay?
I'm like, I'm like, what is the reason for this person getting ready to lash out on me?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I'm like, has this person, this person has some issue with their mother, with their parent or whatever, that now every other person they come in contact with, they're going to lash out.
They're going to lash out and you don't know. And I'm going to give you a good example. I had a person that has several children. Each one of the children has been taken away from them, right? Now she's upset because the children don't want to be the children. And the children don't want to be around her. But now you have the ability to not only mess up your children, but their children's children. You know, so when is enough enough? You know, when is enough enough? Oh, we got to get ready to wrap it up. I want to say that Saturday, November the 14th,
from 11 to
2 at Mount Sinai Baptist Church, 35th in Brooklyn.
36 in Brooklyn.
Just follow the cars. Councilman Ellington, along with Pastor White, will be doing a food giveaway. So, and the following week, I think we'll be doing a cook-off. Where we have the dinner cook-off, but the dinner is given away because we can no longer hold our basketball tournaments. So we're just going to cook the food. It's going to be cooked by Outback, I think, and then we'll be distributing the food. Where's that going to be at?
Brush Creek Community Center.
Thank you. Didn't get that wrong.
The address for the food giveaway this Saturday is November the 14th, 11 a.m. to 2, 3634 Brooklyn at Mount Sinai Baptist Church.
And if you want to get involved with G.R.Y.L, contact us at G.R.Y.L BOTP @gmail.com.